Hi, I'm Tyler, and this is a simple guide on how to use spike traps. A spike trap is one of the strongest early game tools at your disposal. They single-handedly make many unmodded, high difficulty playthroughs possible. Sadly, many players use them improperly, kill their favorite colonists, and never use them again. I'll cover everything spike in 4 quick parts. Let's get started. Part 1. Incorrect usage. The reason you triggered your own spike trap was your colonist had no other path to go around it. They will always avoid walking over them when possible. Every time your colonist walks over one, they have a 0.4% chance of triggering it. This also applies to your tamed animals and friendly units. Always design your traps so that they can be rearmed without walking over another trap, and never place them so that your colonists are forced to walk over them. Part 2. Correct usage. Make your traps in a corridor that has door access to rearm them. You want an open entrance and exit so that your enemies will enter the trap corridor or get baited into it. This should be out of the way of your colonist's normal walk path so that if that path gets interrupted, you won't have a Randy special on your hands. Traps will trigger 100% of the time for enemies and man-hunting animals. Yes, that is correct, 100%. An exception is if the raiders have the nimble trait, then it is only a 10% chance of triggering. Wandering animals or animals that are hunting will never trigger a trap, so don't bank on those traps killing a hungry bear that's feeling chicken. Part 3. The Death Maze. There are many iterations of death mazes out there, but I'll walk you through 3 ones that I use and a usage of each. You can always make yours not linear and come up with cool ways to cause terror. I keep it simple to preserve resources. 1. The Basic Becky. This is my favorite design. It's simple, the doors afford full access, easy to bait raiders in, and does not take up much room horizontally or vertically. You can have these sticking out of your perimeter wall and they make the world of difference. They can also be used to thin out man-hunting packs of guinea pigs. 2. The Great Wall. Another useful design that can not only act as a trap area but also reinforce your existing walls. We use the same concept, just do so in a horizontal manner. The biggest drawback here is baiting enemies is a little bit harder, and AoE damage will not only destroy your perimeter wall but also your traps. Let's use an example from the Reddit user Spectre6610. I've been helping them with their base and it is the perfect scenario for the Great Wall. It effectively makes it the only choke point that raiders can go through. This would also be perfect as a second line of defense or a fallback point if a raid becomes too overwhelming at the river. This makes any lower difficulty raids a breeze and gives you time to turn your colonists into super soldiers that don't need to hide behind traps. 3. The Diglet. This is one for you mushroom-eating miners. A simple corridor which can be built into mountains. It is highly effective against most raids and is nice and simple. This does not work well in open bases for obvious reasons, but if you have a vertical choke point or a mountain hideout, this might be for you. Part 4. The Numbers. Your trap's damage and armor penetration greatly varies based off the material you use. Steel traps have a base damage of 100 and 150% armor penetration and are the best bang for your buck. Wooden traps are 40 damage and 60% armor penetration and are best used when wood is a highly expendable resource and you can make a lot of them. Your traps are ugly unless you make them from gold. Wooden steel traps are -18 beauty. Don't put them in your living room. Wood traps are built the quickest, needing 38 work to build, while steel traps require 54 work to build. Stone traps take almost 10 times the speed of wooden traps, and are only 20 damage more. They might be useful for training construction, but I never use them. Traps mainly hit on the head and torso and are sharp melee damage which can cause bleeding. You can use this to your advantage and kite out bleeding raiders. That's it. Thanks for watching. If you found this guide useful and want more information like it, consider subscribing.